and welcome to Talking Good Games match preview of Liverpool against West Ham United in the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup. Gonzo, may you kick us off as always, please, with your thoughts on our opponents.
Yeah, a bit of a transitional season, I think, really, for Liverpool. But because of the topsy-turvy nature of the league, they still find themselves sort of up there, really. I felt that they needed surgery for quite some time on their midfield, but I thought that was forced upon them. I felt it, very much in the Champions League final when Courtois was man of the match, and they played well. But I still looked at them, I thought, they need a striker, they need a midfielder. I thought Henderson possibly carried on longer than I thought, but obviously because they had a double midfield raid in the summer, like a Saudi raid, then it was sort of forced upon them. Szoboszlai, really like him. They brought McAllister in. But it sort of hasn't really sparkled or sizzled there. But as I understand, he might be playing a slightly different position. You'd have to fill me in on that one. But obviously, they wanted Caicedo as well, and they didn't realise they were not getting him until very, very late. And I do wonder if that sort of scuppered some of their plans, really. And I also feel that despite his really high standards, so Mo Salah at his best is maybe the best player in the world, one of them. The best player in the Premier League, record goal scorer, blah, blah, blah. I do feel that he might, not unsettled, he's still there and he's still motivated, but I feel he's 90%, which is still a bloody good player and still better than most players in the Premier League. But it just doesn't feel like that almost a goal a game player, at the moment. And I feel that, I feel you could defend against him. I don't think Emerson would thank me for that one particularly. But yeah, but they're still in the mix. They're still in the mix this season, Gio.
Yeah, it was a big summer for them. And I know you say Saudi raid. I think they took advantage of that market completely. I think they had two players that they wanted to move on for different reasons, perhaps. And like you said, do surgery in that midfield, revamp that midfield, which was definitely needing done. And I think there was maybe an expectation it would be done in one swift move, which is that they'd sign Jude Bellingham. I think there was a feeling that that's where he would end up this summer, albeit he went to Real Madrid. So what's Liverpool got plans now? And they've brought in three really good midfielders, I think, but they definitely took advantage of that to get Henderson and Fabinho out of that club, to reinvest the money. I think they've done it relatively wisely. I do feel that their defensive midfield is short. I know Endo can do that role. I'm not a big fan of him. From what I've seen from him, I've not been too impressed. And I do think they're lacking that one player in there. But I do like Szoboszlai. I like McAllister. I like Gravenberch as well. I think they're all three really good players. They've added to Curtis Jones. I think when I've seen him earlier this season, he felt like he'd stepped up a little bit of a level. Haven't seen him for a few games now, but still a fantastic player on his day too. So a transitional season, you called. I think that's a fair thing to say, but they've almost found themselves in the title race. Nice felt for some time that, since it's after a handful of games actually, that this could be the Liverpool season again. And the more I see, the more I think that, because I mean, like you said, I know you were trying to defend yourself a little bit by saying Salah's still a good player and he's just not as good as he can be. And I agree with that. But he's still got double figures already, even though he's still not at his best. That's how damn good he is. So if he can get up to his best, Trent's back up and running now into that new role of his. They're still missing Robertson out on the left side, which is obviously a bit of a hindrance. And you're just waiting for one or two of those forwards to click, whether it be Gakpo, Nunez, Luis Diaz, Jota. You're just waiting for one or two of them just to get a run of games on that team and to hit form, because they're all talented footballers. They just feel a bit inconsistent. And whenever I go to watch Liverpool, I'm never sure which two players I'm going to be watching alongside Salah. I don't know what Klopp's going to do. Now, you could argue that that's a good thing. It keeps the opponent guessing, but I would argue that would suggest that there's not two players banging form and they're almost undroppable under Klopp, because Klopp is showing he'll stick with the same 11 if he has to. If they're performing well and playing well, he will keep on naming the same team and they churn out results. But at the minute, that two spots up there seem to be sort of interchanging quite frequently. Do you think they'll win the title?
Well, I would hope so. That would be my preference. Well, to be fair, I'd prefer it if Aston Villa won it, truth be known, but I don't think they will. But out of all like the big teams, they would be my preference. I could not even. I can't.
Bored of City and hate Arsenal.
Yes. There you go. Yes, you've summed me up perfectly there, really. But I can't. It's funny you mentioned the strikers there, and I do think there is a bit of form to be found from someone there. However, I can't help but think that they're still missing. They're still missing Mane in that sense, and not the one he turned out to be after he left, but the one that was there. And in many respects, maybe even I'll get me firms and me fabs mixed
Firmino.
up. Firmino, maybe they're missing a bit of that as well. I still look at them and think you're missing a striker. Now, look, they can't go out and get one just because of the number of players that you just mentioned there, and Darwin Nunez is there as well, and there's just got so many of them. I feel that they need to. I still feel that he's trying to find somewhere to play Trent Alexander-Arnold, who has great capabilities. But yeah, I'm not sure he knows precisely what he's doing. I think if he can find it and he can get back to what I think they call it heavy metal football, whatever, he gets back to what he used to do, then I think they can win it, and I think they will win it. And I can only hope that Arsenal will implode. Really.
Yeah, I think they'll win the title. I think City they will get better. City always get better, but they don't always have an annoying World Club Cup in the middle of the season to contend with either. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays its part. But so City will improve, but at the same time, I think Liverpool will improve. I think as the season goes on, you'll find that these players are getting used to playing with one another more and more. And we've got the January transfer window, and they will lose Salah. That will obviously be an issue when he goes to the African nations. But if they can get through that period and stay in the race, I think they'll do all right. What about the Europa League? Obviously, we'll be hoping they don't, but do you think they'll win the bookies' favourites at the moment? They have been since the start, really.
No, I think we'll knock them out in the semi-final. Actually, I've got I think we're destined to face them. I think we're destined to face Liverpool in Europe. And I think I could. There you go. Early preview now. Yeah. No, I don't know why. I've got no rhyme or reason to say any of that. We might not even draw them, but no, they can't win it this year. We're going to win it.
Interesting. I don't think they'll win it either. I don't know why. I think. I'm not sure. There's just something that says this is gut feeling. That's all you can go on at this stage of the season. We don't even know what the draw. I mean, the draw's done for the playoff round, but us and Liverpool are straight into the last 16. But I think Liverpool, yes to the title, no for Europa League. Players you admire from Liverpool?
I really, that's Bosley. I think he impresses me. The goalkeeper all the time. I'm impressed with him. I think he's brilliant. There's been games where I don't think they've been too clever this season, and he's been there. Really, really good. Sometimes I look at Canate and I think I don't mind him at all. I've got to say that Endo. So I watched a bit more than a half, maybe 60 minutes possibly of the game against Manchester United. I didn't like that Endo. I didn't think he was. So it's funny you say that. I thought he didn't really offer much at all. It looked like sometimes that Gakpo was playing a little bit too deep for them. He sort of has a look of a player who should be sort of further forward. And I can't help but think looking at whoever was playing at left back, the blonde geezer.
Yes.
Yeah, he looked a significant level down on Robertson. I really like Robertson. I think they look like what can I say? I've watched 60 minutes of them play football, but in that brief period I did, it looked like they missed him. I like Darwin Nunez, but I can't help but feel that he would have been better at West Ham, and I don't say that to be mischievous. He looks a bit. He just would have suited our style more. He looks a bit clumsy and stuff with him. He looks a bit uncertain, like lacking in confidence. I think if you get a player like that, he's got to be the main man, and he's got to play every week, and you not build the team around him, but the tactics that suit him and stuff like that. So I can't. It's a weird one. £85 million, a lot of player there, and he's not really doing it. But I look at Liverpool. I think that I look at players, and I'm waiting for them to come good. I'm waiting for Thiago, who's been there a few years now, who I think is one of the best footballers that you can possibly watch. I'm still waiting for him to come good at Liverpool and dominate over a period of time. They got older, was it Gravenberch, whatever his bloody name is. It should be perfectly suited to the Premier League. I'm waiting for him to dominate. I'm waiting to see him do all of this stuff. I like Nunez. He's had a Diaz. Sorry, he's had a tough one though, and so if he's a bit out of it, But a really lovely story for him to get his parents back. They got lots of good players, but I don't feel they're really firing yet. And I think you're absolutely right. I don't think they can get a lot worse than they've been. Liverpool. I do think they can only get better. And at some point, Jota is going to come back, and he can be a streaky player. He can come back and he can score. read a stat, oh, Jota's scored 6 goals in the last 5 games. You get a little period like that, and players in little streaks like that can make a difference.
Yeah, I think they missed him against Man United. He's better in and around the box. I think Diaz and Nunez are better when there's space, when they do their counter attack and when they're at their peak with their fast breaks. I think those two benefit from that. But I think Jota's maybe a bit better when against a low block side like Man United played. They part of the bus at Anfield. Let's make no mistakes about it. That Ten Hag turned up and parked a double decker in front of the Kop, and I think they struggled to get through it. And I think that's possibly Liverpool's downfall, where I think they can often struggle against sides like that, and they're almost too fluid with their strikers moving around all the place. Alexander-Arnold moving into midfield and stuff, and actually, I think they could almost do with a little bit more discipline in the sense, because it becomes easy to defend against if all the players are moving from one side of the pitch to the other. But I think Jota's the player to unlock things like that, and so they missed him yesterday. I agree with what you said about Alisson. I think he's by far the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, but I think he's I don't know who I would consider the second best goalkeeper in the league is, but I think Alisson's levels above that goalkeeper as well. I just think he's absolutely superb. Alexander-Arnold's just such a ridiculously good footballer. You keep almost expecting him to stop being so good. He's so consistent. I think that's the thing. It's every game he's good, and if he has a couple of quiet ones, you almost guaranteed the third one he'll be back to his best, whipping those crosses in, and the ability he's got to find space and then deliver consistently good crosses is sensational. Actually, he's an unbelievable player, and I agree with what you said at the very start about Salah, one of the best players in the world, and I don't think he'll be appreciated enough by neutrals until he's gone, until he's left the Premier League. Then we might look back at Salah and go, bloody hell, actually, he was one of the best we'll ever see in this league. The numbers he produced are ridiculous as well. And Szoboszlai, while some of the summer signings are taking a little while to settle in, he hasn't. He's just gone straight in. He's absolutely smashing. He's just a wonderful footballer to watch, a real talented player. And he makes the game look easy. I think that's always a sign of a top player, when they do things that are difficult but make it look simple. And I think that's exactly what Szoboszlai does. Now, enough about Liverpool. Before we talk about West Ham, though, let's talk about the cup tie in general. When the draw was made, were you disappointed because it was away to Liverpool, or were you thinking, hang on a minute, this suits us?
Oh, it sucked the wind out my sails, quite frankly. I remember it. I remember, enjoying the victory. Big deal for West Ham, to beat Arsenal. Particularly what happened with Declan Rice, and at the end of it, it's Arteta's bringing on another player, and another player is bringing on these big guns, thinking, oh, damn it, little old West Ham are going to turn me over here. Getting, more and more angry. His face is getting redder and redder, and he's putting more and more players on, and we win, and it was brilliant. It was brilliant, but the draw was that same night. And so I remember sitting here recording a video, and then it coming through. I remember, so we did an immediate video, and then there was one which I wanted to stack for the morning. Oh, honestly, it was like delight and depression. And honestly, like chalk and cheese, the two videos. So, yeah, it sucked the life at me. Going to Anfield, as been a West Ham fan for years and years and years, that's a bad place to go and try and play football, It's a really, really tough place to go. So, yeah, it sucked the life out of me. It really, really did.
Initially, I was like that. I felt I knew we were going to get it because I was in Scotland for that game, and I remember doing the review saying we're going to get Liverpool the next round. I've almost decided we're going to get it. I could just tell, and when it came to, all right, here we go. So I was gutted. But then I thought, do you know what? Bring it on. Moyes has got a horrific record in the Premier League at Anfield. Now, this is one of the games he just does not win. He's never beaten Liverpool away in the Premier League as a manager, right? He just doesn't win here. But first of all, it's not the Premier League. It is a cup. And I know people say, well, it is similar, but we've also just beaten Arsenal in the cup. We put Man City out last season in the Carabao Cup as well. So Moyes actually, while his record in the league stinks the gaff out, the cup might just be a little bit different. But also, one of the biggest issues we've got at the minute is fatigue. We're away to come up against a team with the exact same fixture congestion as we do. They're in the Europa League the same as we are. They've done what we've done in the Carabao Cup. So in terms of games played, we're identical. They don't have that advantage. Now, the advantage they do have is obviously the last group stage game, they were able to field a second string team and rest more players. And they've rested more players during the group stages than what we have done. But in terms of games played, we're up there. So maybe there's some element of happiness in that regards to this draw. But not ideal. What's your thoughts on the Cup, though? Before we get on to what you want to see, because obviously that'll be telling, but Carabao Cup, you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I am. I love it. I love it all. Honestly, bring it on. Bring it on. That's really whetted my appetite winning the trophy last season. Really has. And I just think when you get to this stage, quarterfinals, it's all on. And we got memories in the bank. Of Sevilla and Olympic Lyonnais, and obviously beating Fiorentina and stuff like that. And I know Liverpool might be.
Yeah, those traditional English clubs that we play in the Carabao.
Yeah, but yeah, absolutely, yeah. Maybe games that we wouldn't necessarily have thought we might have won in the past. But it's look, the cup is really good, and I don't know. I suspect it might be. It's hard to say. I'm guessing here. I suspect it might be slightly more of a priority for us, because Liverpool are in the title race. They got Arsenal on Saturday. They keep. I don't know if I should have checked. They keep on getting drawn to the early game on Saturday after they've sort of played.
It's 5:30 on Saturday.
Okay, yeah.
We're the 12:30 game on Saturday.
Oh, right. Okay. Really? Oh well. No. Oh, you're going Man United. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, hold on. Have they figured that one out? Then they've stitched us up. But look, we can have no complaints. I think they usually make Liverpool after a midweek game play at 6 a.m. on a Saturday. So yeah, mate, bring on the cup. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I want to win the bloody thing. Before the Arsenal game, I remember doing a video saying I want to win this. Someone said, calm down. We're playing Arsenal. We've won. Hey, happy days, but now we've got Liverpool. But I still want to win the bloody thing. I think, arguably, at this point, this might be our most realistic chance of European football next season. What's more realistic right now? Beating Liverpool, winning the semi-final, winning the Carabao Cup, or playing the rest of the Premier League season, there's still over half to go, and finishing at the moment is top 5. That's what European qualification is via the league. Now, obviously, that would change. Or winning the Europa League. I think this one is our most realistic chance currently. That obviously may change. I want to win this. The Conference League was fantastic, but while the prize for winning the Conference League is greater than the prize for winning the Carabao Cup, I would prefer the Carabao Cup over the Conference League. Now, I prefer the Europa League over the Carabao Cup, just to put into 2 years. It goes.
We could do a tier list video on which trophies we prefer.
I'll give you a spoiler. I would go Premier League. I'm not including the Champions League. Premier League.
Aren't you?
Well,
I would rather win. Oh, okay. Well, this is relevant here. This is relevant because Liverpool won it. I remember watching it. You don't know as a West Ham. You don't know whether you prefer to win the Premier League or the Champions League. So you're watching it and pretending, you're trying to put yourself in that position. But I remember when they finished 1 point behind City or whatever. So I think they won the Champions League first before they won the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that thinking, I think I would prefer the Champions League actually to the Premier League. So yeah, I think I would.
I'd prefer the Premier League.
No, I understand why.
I think I'd go Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, Europa League, Carabao Cup, and then Conference League at the bottom.
And then World Club Cup at the bottom of that.
And then the Betway Cup under that as well.
Wow, I don't know. Betway Cup above the Audi Cup.
Above the Audi Cup, though, the one that Spurs won. The Betway Cup's greater than the Audi Cup.
Of course. Naturally.
Paqueta agrees. Anyway, right then, enough about Liverpool in the Cup. We're going to discuss West Ham. Bit of team news first of all. It's unchanged. Mikel Antonio's still not back, despite 4 weeks ago. David Moyes said he'd be back in 2 weeks, so still no Mikel Antonio. Areola was left out from the win against Wolves due to just returning from injury. David Moyes suggested it's not quite 100% yet, hence why Fabianski started at weekend. But apart from that, full squad of players picked from. So Maxwell Cornet, Ben Johnson were absent from the squad altogether on Sunday. They're available should we wish to play them. So, Gonzo, who would you like to see start in goal at Anfield on Wednesday evening?
Lukasz Fabianski.
I completely agree. He's the cup goalkeeper. It's a cup game. He's in good form. We're in good form. Back-to-back clean sheets for the first time this season. I see no reason to change it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving into your back four.
We are going naughty Vladimir Coufal. So watch out, Liverpool. So if you're in the front row at Anfield, be careful. He's a bit feisty at the moment. Konstantinos Mavropanos, because we know that Zuma who played very, very well against Wolves. He's not a man for the 2 games a week, Zuma. Nathan Gerd, because I like that partnership with Gerd and Mavropanos. And Emerson's playing at left back.
I completely agree. Moving into midfield, what would you like to see here?
Edson Alvarez, Thomas Big Soup Salad Souček, and I'm not even sure how we do the composition in the midfield anymore. Quite frankly, I'm confused by West Ham's tactics, so I don't know what chance Jurgen Klopp's got.
So you would like to see Kudus on the right?
Yes.
James Ward-Prowse as the second striker?
Yes, or the left, whatever he's on, yeah.
Bowen as a striker, and then Paqueta going wherever he wants.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, whatever that thing is. I like it, but let me just little caveat here. Well, I know it's Monday. We're producing this video on Monday. This is coming out today.
Yeah.
I would have given them today off. Whatever that happened, the best training drill West Ham have done all season is by closing the training ground. It shows you know what I mean? Ban them from the porter cabins, quite frankly. So I'd have banned them. Honestly, I wouldn't even have them in training on Monday. I really, really wouldn't. Get them back in Tuesday. I don't even know. What do we do? Do we drive to Anfield? Do we get the plane? I mean, that's big time, isn't it? Get the plane. We are champions of Europe after all. Maybe we do get a plane. Whatever. However, little light jog on Tuesday. Little rub down. Bit of moisturizer. Bit of ointment. On the plane up to Anfield. Nick the victory. Tram it back down.
I mean, I would do one different personnel from that. I agree with everything to some extent. I would play. It's difficult. I think I'd play Fornals ahead of Souček, and I know this isn't going to go down too well, but I'd drop Ward-Prowse into Alvarez. The reason being, we have to. It's difficult to say you need to take fixture congestion into consideration when you're naming 10 of the starting 11. I'm naming 9 of the starting 11, right? So it's not like we're making wholesale changes here. The reason for my change is that Ward-Prowse has a really high energy role at the minute, which is up beside Jarrod Bowen, chasing everything, chasing shadows practically for 90 minutes. And I think Fornals can do that role. I think Fornals can do that, reading the game well, supporting Jarrod Bowen. I think Ward-Prowse can play next to Edson Alvarez. He can't play next to Thomas Souček, but hopefully he can play next to Alvarez. And I think I'd bring in Fornals. Otherwise, I'm concerned that Ward-Prowse is actually going to be the one that's burnt out of our starting 11. Yes, I'm still playing him, but it's just not a role that is as demanding as what we're seeing recently. Now, I appreciate he's been pivotal, but I do think Fornals can possibly do the role that we've seen Ward-Prowse doing in the last couple of games. So I would make one change, and that is Fornals in for Souček, but Ward-Prowse goes back there. The downside to this is, if there is a weakness in Liverpool's team, it's probably Alexander-Arnold, and not him as a player, but his positioning and the fact that he comes inside and plays centre midfield, indicates that space from the right back. And obviously Mo Salah is not the best defensively. So having Paqueta there going wandering would benefit us to some extent, because there's no right back to take advantage of Paqueta moving. But the hindrance is we now don't have a left winger to take advantage of the fact that Alexander-Arnold's gone wandering. But what it does do, I suppose, is leaves a massive gap, hopefully, for Emerson to go running down that left-hand channel into. So, yeah, we've both got similar teams, Gonzo.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's every reason to be hopeful for this one. And to preempt your next question, are you confident? I think it's hard to ever go to Anfield with absolute confidence. But look, make no mistake about it. Liverpool dropped points against Man United. And they're possibly their biggest game of the season is on Saturday. There is no way. I'll be surprised. If he does, fair play to him. But I think I've said enough nice things about Liverpool in this video to be able to get away with saying he would be a little bit foolish if he were to play everybody, all his first team, for the duration in this game. He's got bigger fish to fry. Lose to Arsenal, and that's possible, by the way, to lose to Arsenal. Anyone can lose to Arsenal. They're a good team. They're 4 points behind. He does not want to be 4 points behind Arsenal at this stage. As you say, he needs to be harvesting points, as you rightly mentioned, before Salah goes away to the African Cup of Nations. You don't know if he's going to out what if he's going to come back injured or fit and firing or whatever. Now is the time for Liverpool to get the points. And look, West Ham have got important games coming up. We absolutely do, but Europe's on the back burner, as we don't have to worry about it. Like Liverpool, we've qualified for the last 16. We ain't got to worry about that until March. And you would argue that, yes, we have to harvest points, but us losing a league game doesn't have the same impact that it does on Liverpool. We can lose a league game, and then if the coefficient works out, then if 8th gets European places, we don't mind. Honestly, at West Ham, we would like to finish in the top 4. We're unlikely to. In many respects, as a fan base, we'd be happy with any form of European football. We'd quite enjoy it. Liverpool will really want to. It's like that season where Leicester won the title. Was an opportunity there, wasn't there? It was Leicester and Tottenham in the top. They finished 3rd, Tottenham, by the way, that season. But they were, it was them really going for it. That was an opportunity for somebody to take it, and it's an opportunity with City because of De Bruyne being out. I do think that's a big thing for City. De Bruyne being out because of the World Club Championship or whatever it's called. The opportunity is there for someone else to win the league. And for that reason, Saturday is massively important for Liverpool, and that gives us an opportunity.
Yeah, when they do their rotation, they still got the players that didn't start against Man United. They still got Gakpo, Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones. It's not like they're bringing in poor players here. I think defensively, there's less option or less scope to rotate, perhaps. But I'll be surprised if Klopp goes full 11 on this one. I think he'll start some of them. I wouldn't be surprised to see Salah start, but I don't know if you'll see Konate and Van Dijk start. I think he might start one of those. Will he start Smikas at left back? Maybe. He might start Alexander-Arnold, but I think he'll make a few changes and prioritise Saturday, and so he should, because Liverpool can afford. I mean, at the quarter-final stage, it's maybe a bit harsh to say this, but Liverpool can afford to not win the Carabao Cup. It's not the end of the world if they were to bin this one up. Klopp's won enough at Liverpool already to sort of say, look, we talk about credit and ban for managers a lot. Klopp's rich. Klopp can bin off the Carabao Cup and go all out for the title and the Europa League, and we've got the FA Cup coming up as well. There's enough opportunities for him to go on and win silverware and a realistic chance at it as well. And when we, as a bit of fun, just sort of measured where we consider each trophy to be, the Carabao Cup's probably Liverpool's bottom one. Yeah. If we win it, happy days. But if we don't win it, it's not the end of the world. I don't think Klopp's getting sacked because he doesn't win the Carabao Cup. Let's put it that way. Likewise, I don't think if he wins it, it'll be good for a few days. They'll move on pretty quick. They've got bigger fish to fry. So I think we'll see a rotated Liverpool, which should give us an opportunity. Now, before we do final words and score predictions, because I think we're feeling quite optimistic. I think it's going to be quite. I'm getting a bit concerned. We're going to be predicting wins here. Before we do that, we just want to point in the direction of our Patreon. Now, if you join as a mild addict right now, there's a 7-day trial, so you can test it out for 7 days. But if you do that today, on Monday, we've already recorded our Wolves player ratings. You will, from today for the next 7 days, you will have to pay a penny, free trial. You will get 10 videos, including tonight. Earlier on tonight, you're watching this Monday evening or Tuesday. Monday night, Gonzo did a Q&A with Frank McAvenny as well. Then we've got the opposition predictions, the breakfast shows, Anton Ferdinand podcast, Hammerlytics, the series for me and Gonzo Don't Talk About Football. There's 10 videos you'll get to watch without spending a penny. So if you've ever considered giving it a try, go to patreon.com/HammersChat. Links in the description below. Or if there's someone pestering you, because everyone's getting pestered right now, what do you want for Christmas? Time is running out. Say, hey, sign me up to Hammers Chat Patreon, because I will actually use that. If they sign you up to the year, they'll save 16%, and you will get a full year of Hammers Chat videos as well. Patreon.com/Hammers Chat. Massively appreciate anyone that comes over and gives it a go. Gonzo, I'm looking forward to this question. Can I get any final words and your score prediction, please?
Yeah, David Moyes is going to go strong in this one. Sometimes we name a team and it's often nothing like what David Moyes will name. David Moyes, apart from there was one game away against Everton, his first stint, by and large, David Moyes takes every bloody game seriously. And I have to say this, I waited around a long time for managers who wouldn't bin off the cups. And David Moyes hasn't. We've had a lot of them who have binned off the cups. And He will take this seriously and he'll go for it. And do you know what? When I say go for it, that doesn't mean he's going to attack Liverpool. But I mean, he will pick the team and the tactics he thinks will win this. Now, sometimes David Moyes picks the team and tactics and they're bloody wrong. But it's not for want of trying. He does want to win the games. He's not going to do a Sam Allardyce against Nottingham Forest, for instance. This is not what's about to happen here. And I think with that, I also think the team are probably in good spirit at the moment. I think there was a lot to see there, to look at that Wolves game, to look at the Freiburg game, to look at how the players interacted with each other, to look at how the players celebrated. They appear to be a unified group at the moment. I don't see the I don't see a desperate bunch. I don't see falling outs in the dressing room. Look, we're not in the dressing room, but all we can do is use the window of what we see on the pitch to give us an indication. I don't see this. They look like, in terms of the players and the coaching team, and they look like a unified bunch. They just do, and that gives us a chance. So then it comes down to do we have can we keep it tight against Liverpool? Well, that's going to be hard. They've got some really talented attacking players who can turn you inside out. Jota can get a goal out of nothing. Salah, we don't even need to speak about him. Diaz is a real handful sometimes, and they can cause you an awful lot of bother. They've got an excellent set piece taker themselves who can spot a pass from open play. They've got some real danger. But so the question is, can we defend against them? Well, we may. We've had 2 clean sheets back to back. We may be able to keep a clean sheet against them. We'll need Edson Alvarez, but I suspect he'll play. He'll help the defence. Takes a lot of the workload off of side players. So then it comes to, can we spring a counter attack? Well, we certainly can. Do we have dangerous players that can hurt them? Well, we do. We absolutely do. And I have to say this, and people may laugh, I would not swap Mohammed Kudus for Mo Salah at the moment. I just wouldn't. You know, I would keep him. And we have got Lucas Paquetá, who is probably the player that Liverpool thought they were getting when they signed Thiago. He's strong. He's going to cause them problems. He might roll around on the floor and have a tantrum, but he can cause. Can he hurt them? Yes. So can Jarrod Bowen. We have 3 players who can cause them real damage from open play. And by the way, if they don't quite do it, and the excellent Alisson puts in wonderful saves and tips it round, then we might get a corner, and they're in danger from those as well. Even though they've got a set piece coach specialist and all the rest of it, they may well need it, because James Ward-Prowse is absolutely deadly, and I expect him to play. And we've got a load of giants that can go up. They've got some giants themselves, but so have we. So it's going to be battle of the giants and corners, set play. I'm talking myself into it. It's a West Ham win 2-1.
Oh, love that. I will add, well, actually, played 9, won 7, drawn 1, lost 1. You'd be forgiven for thinking I'm talking about Liverpool's form, but I'm not. I'm talking about West Ham's form. It's not always been pretty. It's not always been comfortable. But the form is, we've won 7 over the last 9 games. The one defeat was a hiding against Fulham. And I believe they were ill. Okay, I'm willing to write that one off, but it's still there. So played 9, won 7. We're in good nick at the minute. Kudus is scoring goals, Bowen scoring goals, Paquetá scoring goals, setting goals up as well. Souček for a while hasn't, but he was scoring goals. It's been going about 2 games without a goal now. Souček, what's he doing? Ward-Prowse has been providing assists all season. We have threats left, right, and centre in our team presently. Now, the weak part of us is the bench. The lack of rotation, the fatigue may be an issue as well. So if Klopp does rotate, that will, in theory, give him an advantage somewhere that we do not have in the fresh legs aspect of the game. But we've just seen Liverpool struggle to break down a low block Man United side, who defensively are not that great. That defence contained Johnny Evans in 2023. It's 2023, possibly one of the dodgiest goalkeepers in the Premier League was in goal. Johnny Evans at centre-back. Amrabat playing like a nutter in midfield. Inexperienced Mainu in there with Scott McTominay at the number 10. That was what Man United did at Anfield, but it got a 0-0 draw. Well, we get a 0-0 draw, let's go to a penalty shootout. Then it's anybody's game. That's the left or right there. I've talked myself into as well, Gonzo. I'm going to say Liverpool 0, West Ham 1. There you go. 2 of us predicting West Ham get to the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. We've lost the plot.
I think so.
We can't wait for the build-up show where we see Ben Rama, Fornals, Ben Johnson, Aaron Creswell.
Hey, put it bet on now. Danny Ings to score the winner against his former club.
I'm definitely not doing that.
Don't bet.
Anyway, if you fancy joining Patreon, go to patreon.com/hamschat. Like I said, mail down it. You can get a 7-day free trial. Myself and Gonzo will be live on Wednesday evening, an hour and 5 minutes before kickoff. If you enjoyed this preview, please do drop a like on it by clicking thumbs up. Subscribe to Hamschat. Myself, Gonzo. Catch you in a bit.